Hey everyone, welcome to the Truth Only Show here on KCA Radio, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and 102.3 FM. You're listening to the Truth Only Show, the show where we give you a new message for you each week, something that you can take with you and use throughout your life. Of course, you can check it out on truthonlyshow.com. We're working on getting the videos going again, but as of now, we have all of our podcasts available, so you can go back on truthonlyshow.com and listen to every episode. It is available as a podcast, and you can download it right from there, and you can even play it right on the website. So that's truthonlyshow.com. Check it out. And now, here's the host of the show, David Rodriguez.
Good morning, everyone. Great to have you here with us on another episode of our show, the Truth Only Show, where we give you nothing but the truth, something that you can use in your life, something that you can take with you and actually transform anything that you want in your life. Anyways, I want to welcome all of you, and I want to give special thanks to all of you, especially all of you that are listening to us every week, and for all you new listeners that we have out there. But before we get started, I want to give some thanks also to the show people that make this show possible. Our engineer, Mr. Joe Pagano, and our webmaster, Mr. Joel Strausser, and my co-host and producer, Michael. Thank you all of you very much for making this show, being able to do this. I couldn't do it without you. And for all you new listeners out there, I want to give you a little idea of what we're about here. What we talk about, we try to stick to the truth about you. That's what this show is all about. This show is about you. We try to stay away from opinions, which opinions are okay, but it's one thing to understand who you are, understand your true nature, because that's what we talk about here, human nature. And when you do begin to understand your true nature, you can begin to take control of your life. You can begin to improve conditions, all the conditions in your life, health, your happiness, your relationships. You can begin to take control and make anything better, whatever you want, whatever kind of changes that you would like to bring to your life. Understanding your nature will make it all possible. That's what we're here for, and that's what we're going to do. And today, our topic is, what we're going to talk about is daily choices. What do you have to do every day? You got to make certain choices every day of your life to begin to improve your life, because it's, whether you realize it or not, every day you are making daily choices, but depending on what types of choices you are making, that determines where your life will go and what direction your life will gonna go. So I'm going to give you a concept. Maybe you've thought about it, maybe you haven't. But if you haven't, you need to follow me. You got to stick with me, okay? And whatever ideas you have, they might be fine. But just for this hour, let us kind of lead you and guide you into something maybe you've never thought before. But follow along with us. I believe this will be very beneficial to you if you can understand the point that we're going to make here. Now, first of all, I want you to imagine this. Imagine that, all of us have a mind, right? Imagine it this way, though. Imagine that we are all inside of one mind, okay? Because in reality we are, but you need to imagine it. Imagine it that we're inside one mind and we're all using it, okay? Now, if you can understand that concept, I want you to think about this. Is very important. You are free in that one mind. What I mean by you are free, in other words, you are free to think whatever it is you choose to think about. That's why we call this, our topic today, daily choices. Because, if you think about it and take this seriously, Every day that you get up, you have a choice. You can pick and choose what you are going to do that day. I mean, you are free. And I'm talking about you are free in any way that you want. You are free to pick and choose what you are going to put into your body that day. You are free to pick and choose what food you are going to have. I mean, that's true. I mean, maybe you never thought about it, or maybe you have allowed your body to control what you put into it. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe you allow your body to decide what it's going to have today. But what I'm trying to tell you is you are free to pick and choose what you are going to have today. So if you think about if you analyze and think about what I'm saying is, you have complete control of your health. I mean, it's your choice. It's your choice of what you choose to put into your body. So isn't that going to determine your health? Isn't that going to have a lot to do with the outcome, the results of what it is that you do choose to put into your body? And you know what? Here's the most important thing you got to realize. Whatever it is you choose to put into your body cannot refuse you. It can't. Your body cannot refuse whatever you choose to put into it. So the point is, it is all up to you. And you know, when I said this one great mind that we are all part of, it will honor all of your requests. And I mean all of your requests. And like I said, your body cannot refuse you. I'm talking about everything. If you decide today, I'll give you an example. If you decide today to start on a health, on a mission to get healthier, you can decide and say, today today is the first day I'm going to start walking. I'm going to start exercising. Your body cannot refuse you. You're going to start today eating better. Your body cannot refuse you. You have complete control. Maybe you've given up that control. Maybe you have allowed your body to control you. But should it be that way? You have freedom. You are free to pick and choose what you are going to do this day. So, daily choices. You can get up in the morning and create your day. What is going to happen this day? You can begin a new career this day. You can decide to do something different today. You can decide to start a program of studying and learning something new today. You have complete control. It's all up to you. Your future is in your hands. There isn't anything that can stop you. Pick and choose. And I'll tell you one thing that is very, very important. I think what creates a lot of our problems and keeps us from making our own daily choices and keeps us from taking our life in the direction that we want to go You know what I think one of our biggest problems is? Is that we're busy trying to understand everybody else, trying to understand, analyze how other people think. What do other people believe? I can tell you that it's basically impossible. And I mean it. It's basically impossible to know what the next person believes. Think about it. Even your own relatives. I mean, if that was the case, if we really understood what the next person believes, there would be no divorce. There would be no problems in relationships. But the reason there is all this divorce, the reason there is all these problems in relationships, the reason all that exists is because we do not really know what the other person really believes deep down. We don't really know what they believe. We have an idea, of course. We kind of have an idea. We kind of have an idea of what a person that, for example, in his occupation, we kind of have an idea of what that person believes, depending on their occupation. But you only have an idea. You really cannot know what the next person believes. Why? Because life and this mind that we're talking about is way, way too complex. Think about the complexities of this mind that we're talking about. One person loves to go out and study rocks. Another person loves to go out and study butterflies. Another person wants to study the universe. Another person loves to study music, an instrument. Someone else can build you anything, construct. Another person is interested in automobiles and an engine. So you may have an idea of what they believe, but you cannot really know what the next person believes. So if you're spending all your time trying to understand the next person and understand what the next person is believing, it's taking away from understanding yourself. That's what you're really doing. You're taking away precious time from knowing yourself and being able to take charge of your own personal life. You are your own personal life. And remember that you can get up every day and pick and choose your future. You are free to do that. And like I said earlier, you are within this great mind that exists, and it will honor any request that you ask for. What I mean by that is, whatever it is that you are pursuing, whatever it is that you are going after, there is nothing to stop you from improving and getting better at what you do. There is nothing to stop you, only yourself. You can continue to get better and better and become more knowledgeable of what you already are doing right now. There isn't anything to stop you. Too many of us are wasting our precious time on things that don't really do us much good. And that is trying to analyze the next person, trying to understand your mother, trying to understand and fighting and arguing with your brother or your sister or your cousin, or trying to figure out what the president is really doing. What does he really believe? You don't know what he really believes. That's why he got into office, because nobody really knew what he believed, but he obviously believed enough to get into office. So we really don't know what the next person really believes. And I'm not talking about burying your head in the sand and not knowing what's going on in this world. Believe me, I'm not even talking about it, because I follow it too. I follow what's going on in the news. I'm not going to bury my head in the sand. I understand it. But I can improve my life, which I have many, many times over. Improved many, many things in my life by picking and choosing, making choices of where my life is going. Improving my health. Improving my relationships. Improving my future. And having a brighter future by making choices every single day. Actually, I pick and choose what I'm going to have, what I'm going to put into my stomach that day, every day. Yeah, sure, once in a while I'm going to throw in some stuff that we probably shouldn't be putting in there. But as a rule, I pick and choose what I'm going to put in there, and believe me, it works wonders. Because remember, the body cannot refuse you. It's going to accept whatever you pick and choose to put into it, and it will never and never can refuse you. Think about it. If I choose to tell my hands to learn the piano, my hands, my fingers are not going to refuse me. They can't. Sure, am I going to struggle in the beginning? Of course I am. But if I persist and tell my fingers, you are going to learn to play these notes, these chords, they are not going to refuse me. They are going to do what I tell them to do. We are free. You have absolute freedom. It's all up to you, to your mind. And remember, the sky is the limit. There are no limits. You do not have any limits. Only the limits that you have placed on your own mind. That's all. That's the only limits you have. You have no other limits. You are free to make daily choices of what is going to happen that day. Can you predict exactly what's going to happen? No. But you can take control of what you do that day. Of course, are things going to happen? Of course they are. But you can take control of what you are going to do. You are free. You are free to make all the choices you want. You are free to live a great life of your own making. You've always been free. Think about it. And remember, this great mind that I'm talking about, that we are all submersed in, it will honor your request. Will never refuse you. Whatever exists, whatever potential exists for you, it's there. It's there, just waiting for you to pursue it. All the potential that you want is available to you. Anything that you want to accomplish is there. And I'm talking about anything. There's no reason for worry. Worry only becomes worry is because that's what you think. Joy, you think joy and you become joyful. You think peace and you will become peaceful. You think prosperity and you will become prosperous. But it has to be a daily choice. You have to do it daily. That's what we're talking about here. Daily choices. We're going to give you a chance. Think about it. Don't go away. We're going to take a short break. And I want to remind you that you're listening to KCAA 1050 AM, 102.3 FM, and 106.5 FM on the Truth Only Show. You can find us at trutholyshow.com. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Truth Only Show. That song is called If All My Friends Were Gone. That's by the Bell City Players. That's my band. You can check them out at thebellcityplayers.com. You can find all of their music, and you can find other YouTube videos of cover songs that we've done. That's at thebellcityplayers.com. We're here talking about daily choices, and I wanted to start you off with a quote because I wanted to show you, which I'm sure you already know, that this is nothing new. This is something that's been around for a long time.
Probably forever.
Here's a quote from Aristotle.
All right.
It says, "Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny."
Exactly. It's exactly what we're talking about here, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. So Aristotle knew that.
Yeah, Aristotle knew that. That's why I believe that's why Aristotle is still known today. How many years? When was Aristotle walking this earth?
In BC, I mean, in like 1000 BC or something like that.
Well, it's been quite a while, but just think about that. What he must have made he made plenty of daily choices to still be known today. Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about yourself. We're talking about making daily choices. And we said that there are no limits to what you can accomplish. Look what Aristotle accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we know who he is now.
Yeah.
And how many people have been on this earth and have left this earth and we have no clue. Sometimes they're gone 2-3 weeks and nobody even remembers who they were anymore.
It's depressing.
Well, it is depressing.
Yeah.
Think about it. But our listeners don't have to be that way. Our listeners can accomplish great things by understanding their true nature. That's all it is.
And this is from Tony Robbins, so more modern quote here. Same topic, though.
Okay.
And I think that this is important because a lot of people, because you're talking about decisions or choices that are real choices, not something that you just like, oh yeah, I'm going to work harder at my job this year. Yeah, it's something you say, your New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
This is what Tony Robbins says about it. He says, a real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. If there's no action, you haven't truly decided.
Right. And that's the action is a action to decide you're going to do something every day.
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever it is you've done so far in your life and whatever you've become good at, what you do now, whatever your occupation is, it's because you've been doing it every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the sad way of looking at it, many people are only good at what they do because they had an 8-hour-a-day job, so they got good at it because they had to be there for 8 hours. We're talking about doing something different or being much greater at becoming greater at what you do for 8 hours. There's no limit to how good you can get at anything. There's no limits. There are no limits. Human beings have no limits. Let's put it that way. We don't. We don't have limits. The only limits we have are the limits we put on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
You were telling me before the show that in your job that you used to do that you would have people that you wanted to teach to make them better at their job, to make them get ahead in their job, but they chose not to do it. It was their choice not to do it.
Right.
When you're offering them free help. Could you talk about that?
Well, there are offering them free help, and not only is it free help, but they're actually on the job
Training.
Getting paid. They're there getting paid on the job, and they still, many people refuse to learn even more, where they could double their income. They could double their income. Can you think about this? They're on the job getting paid,
and their boss
and their boss offers them to make more money. Here, just learn a little bit more, and you can get paid much more. And we're paying you while you are learning. You don't have to go home and go to school at night. You can learn right here on the job, right on the spot, getting paid. But yet they refuse.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I don't know. What is it? People
it's
have
their choice.
Fear, or what do people have, fear or the responsibility, or what? I don't know. I don't know what there is to fear. We should not have any fear.
Mm-hmm. But they chose not to do it.
Yeah, they chose not to.
But you had a couple people that chose to do it.
Yeah, no, I have the few that have said, have gone for it. They say, okay, showed them on the job. Now, they are people now that you can hand them a set of blueprints and they'll build you anything. I don't know if there's any building in the world that they couldn't build. I don't think there is. They can build anything. Just hand them a set of plans and walk away and tell them to build it for you, and they'll build it for you. Those are the people that took what I was teaching them seriously. And they can earn, as much money as they really want to.
In that industry.
Right. anything's available because they have plenty of knowledge to start their own business if they want to. But they've increased their income by quite a bit, So
it's because they chose
to
take you up on your offer.
and they put time at every day when they're there. They study the blueprints, look at the blueprints, and learn a little bit at a time. Sure, it takes time, but
they chose every day to do it, though.
Right.
So let's talk about your process when you're talking about the daily choices. And you gave the example of choosing the night before what you're going to eat the next day, and that made it a lot easier to stick to eating a healthier way.
Yeah, instead of I see,
instead of leaving it up in the air, you chose
right. Instead of leaving it as a last minute thing, I kind of find, I hear people talk about diets. They go on this diet, they plan to go on this diet or whatever. And I have found, because it's worked for me, I mean, I've basically I've removed all the 95% of the fat from my body. I've removed quite a bit. And it's been about 3 months now where I made a choice. What I started doing was choosing the night before what I was going to have the next day. So I already knew what I was going to have. So I already knew where I had to drive to go get what I was going to put into my body. And I've basically stuck to it 90% of the time, 95% of the time. Mm-hmm. Of course, there are times when I did also choose after 3, 4, 5 days in a row where I stuck to what I was choosing to have. I would stick to it. But finally, like the 4th or 5th day, I said, tomorrow I'm going to have me a nice big meal of whatever I feel like eating. And I would do that. Then I'd go right back again. Just make a choice. It's a choice. And it's working for me. It's working great.
But I think what's interesting about that is that you took the choice you took control of when you're going to make that choice. You made the choice at night before you went to bed, before when you weren't hungry.
Right.
Instead of leaving it up to the next day,
right,
where you're in the moment, and at the moment you're like, well, I don't really have time. I'm just going to go through Jack in the Box, or I'm hungry. You made the choice the night before when you were clear thinking and made a conscious decision to be like, tomorrow I'm eating this. Yeah. And then the next day you didn't really have to make that decision because you already did.
Right. The decision was already made. And then I like, for example, there was a place that I really loved their sandwiches, and they made you nice, delicious, healthy sandwiches. Vegetarian sandwiches, what it's called. It's what I order. Vegetarian, and it's fantastic, delicious. So I that's what I would have me for lunch, because I already made up my mind that's what I'm going to have. So I'd go down there and get it. And I don't mind having it 2-3 days in a row, and that would be it. And that's what I would do. And then in the afternoon, I already had chosen. I sometimes in the afternoon I'd leave it open like to 2 different things I was going to have. Mm-hmm. 2 different things, and I would have one or the other. Mm-hmm. So
but I wonder
that's working.
So I wonder what else you could use that same process in. As far as, I don't know. I mean, what else do you think that could be applied for?
Well,
choosing the night before. I think that's an interesting.
Well, choosing the night
tactic.
Well, choosing the night before is like I say, you want to learn to do something different. Choose the night before what time you're going to do it, and just do it. I mean, if it requires, one thing that I have learned, because I study and meditate every single day, 7 days a week, and I've been doing that for years now. So I made a choice to get up an hour earlier than what I was getting up before, and that hour is dedicated to that every single day. But now I've extended it some days 2 hours, Mm-hmm. But it's a habit now. It's a routine of mine. I don't have to make that choice. It's already just part of me now. But when I made the choice, I just decided to get up an hour earlier and put in that hour in the morning. And I always thought it was better to do it in the morning because I really believe that When you get up in the morning, your mind is fresh. You know, it's fresh. I think it's better in the morning. You've already accomplished something meaningful in the morning before you start your day. Than trying to do it in the afternoon, because things come up in the afternoon all the time, and sometimes you're tired in the afternoon, you've been at work or whatever, and then you'll end up putting it off. But if you do it in the morning every day and you're fresh, your mind is fresh, and you can accomplish a lot every day in the morning.
This is another quote here from Tony Robbins, and I think this might probably... People don't realize how much power there is in making a choice and making a decision. So that's what he's talking about. He says, using the power of decision gives you the capacity to get past any excuse to change any and every part of your life in an instant.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
it's the moment you actually decide.
Right. When you actually decide and
like you said before, if you don't take the action on it, then you didn't really decide to do it.
you didn't. It's not really a decision.
No.
No,
It's
that's
just
why.
a thought.
Yeah, but you make the decision, and the thing is about making a decision. In the beginning, it probably seems difficult because many people are just settled into the routine of life. They already have a routine that they've developed for many years, so it's probably a little difficult in the beginning when you make a decision to make a change. But you know, if you fight through it in the beginning, afterwards it gets so much easier. I mean, it just gets easier because we are creatures of habit. Once you have that habit, that's it. You'll never want to stop again. You'll want to increase whatever it is that you're doing. You'll put more time. Haven't you found that to be true? When you started out on piano, you put a little bit of time, but now you've extended it quite a bit, because now it's not just piano. You play bass, you can play guitar, you can drum, you can write music now. So look how much you've extended it. And now it's not even work anymore, is it? It's more fun now.
And I think that's another thing here's another quote for you, just to throw this at you. Most people have no idea of the giant capacity we can immediately command when we focus all of our resources on mastering a single area of our lives.
Right.
Because I think that's another thing he had been talking about, that another quote from him, that if you'd be amazed when you're actually focusing on one thing. And he says it's a lot of people's downfall is that they're dabbling. They dabble in this, they dabble in that.
Right.
And they've never actually seen what could happen from doing one thing.
Right. Well, you know, what I hear about that is the first thing that I usually hear from people, they say, I'm too busy. I don't have the time.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true.
No?
No, that's not true, because the majority of people that I've heard say I don't have time, they spend a lot of time watching TV. You know, they have a lot of time. They spend a lot of time just watching TV, but they all claim I don't have time, or they spend a lot of time just actually doing nothing.
Yeah.
And everybody has time. Let's put it that way. Come on.
Think so?
Yeah, everybody has time, because, like I said, here.
You know, the people who don't.
Here. I'll take that excuse away. What did I just say? What I decided a long time ago, years ago, I'm going to get up an hour earlier.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, I'm going to get up an hour earlier.
You made more time.
I made more time. Okay, so if I didn't have time, I made it. I said I'm going to get up an hour earlier every day. And in that hour's dedicated to my future, changing everything in my life. That hour's dedicated to that. And I'm working on the one thing. Even though I still had my regular routine, still get up, go to work, still get up and do what everybody else does, still watch my TV and still watch the news and still go out and do my things that entertainment that I enjoy. But I still put that hour in every day. You'd be amazed at how much you can accomplish in an hour if you give yourself an hour every day. You can focus on one thing, and you can get great at anything.
And I think, well, because I was thinking about that. Well, is nobody really busy? But I was thinking about who are the people that are really busy. It's the people that are, working their full-time job, and then at night they're doing something to make their life better. Those people are really busy, but they are doing it. They're busy because they're focusing on one thing,
right?
And they're working at it. That's why they're busy,
right?
If they were just working their full-time job and then going home, and saying, "Well, I'm too busy," then they're not really that busy. But when they get busy working on their future,
now they're busy.
Now they really are.
Yeah, but now you're busy on something that's really worthwhile.
Yeah,
something that's going to change all your life. That's the difference. That's what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
I think. What do you think? We should take a little break.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break and we'll come back and continue this conversation on choices.
And remember, you're listening to KCA 1050 AM, 102.3 FM, 106.5 FM on the Truth Only Show. You can find us at truthonlyshow.com. Don't go away.
Okay, welcome back to the Truth Only Show. That is, again, my band as well. That's the Bell City Players, and you can check them at thebellcityplayers.com. The is in there, thebellcityplayers.com, and you can find videos and other music there, and calendar and all kinds of stuff on there. We're back talking about daily choices, and you said in your talk that when you make a choice, your mind will honor your request.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that exactly?
Well, what I mean by this mind that I'm talking about, your mind, and this, I know that concept. I said one giant mind that we're all part of, which I know that's a concept that might seem a little strange to you, but it's not. It's really true. We're all inside this one giant mind that knows all things. The reason I say that it will honor your request, I mean, you can think about it and prove it to yourself. There isn't anything, whatever that you pursue, there's nothing to stop you from learning more and more and more. I mean, think about it. We first started with a cart where you had put 4 wheels on a cart and pulled it by a horse or a donkey or whatever, pulled it first, right? Then somebody decided to, take the donkey off or the horse and put a motor on it, and that was their idea. That was and this mind didn't. It honored their request. In other words, what I mean by honors your request, it will continue to give you more ideas through intuition. You learn more and more and more, and the knowledge is infinite. Because look at the cars today. Look at all they do now. I mean, the cars are even. We already know they're going to be driving themselves pretty soon, right? You won't have to drive it anymore. You just get in. I probably just program where you want to go, or you just tell it. They'll probably where you just tell it where you want to go. You probably won't even have to program anything. You'll just say, "Take me to this address," and you give them the address. I'm sure the cars are going to take us there. That's what I mean. This mind will always honor your request, and it will teach you more and more and more at whatever it is that you pursue. And it is infinite. This knowledge is infinite. That's what I mean by it will always honor your request. So why not get on it? Why not get better and better and better at whatever it is that you want to do? Why don't you focus on being great at whatever it is that you want to be great at? The mind will always honor your request. It will never refuse you. That's my point.
And you also talked about earlier that you feel like people get distracted or occupy themselves too much with worrying about what other people are thinking or what other people are doing, or trying to figure out what people believe.
Yeah, well, we have too many problems when we think somebody believes a certain way, especially if we think that they believe something about me. If I believe that somebody, I don't even go around thinking that somebody doesn't like me. I don't even want to think about it.
Or what were you saying?
Because I don't want to try to analyze it. I think if somebody doesn't like me, that's their problem. It's not mine. Yeah. I don't
what
like
was the Ernest Holmes thing.
Ernest,
people think about me is none of my business.
Right, and that's the way I feel. What people think about me is none of my business. I only want to know what people like. That's all. What somebody doesn't like me, it's none of my business. Because you know why? As far as I'm concerned, I'm not doing anything to anyone to have them not like me. So that's why I say I don't concern myself with the way their attitudes. I just feel like they have a problem and that's it. It's their problem. It's not mine. So I don't waste my time and energy trying to analyze them. That's just a waste of time.
Mm-hmm. And you even said that if you really could know what people were thinking, you'd think there would be no problems in relationships ever.
Yeah, because if I really understood what if one person understood the other person, they wouldn't have to argue because they would understand each other. People argue is because they don't know what the other person really believes. That's what they're arguing about, because they don't really understand each other. And
or they don't understand why they believe what they believe.
Right, why the other believes what they believe. You can never understand it. What I'm trying to say is this mind that we're talking about is way too complex for us to understand it. So to understand the next person, it's way too complex.
Aren't people all connected to one mind? Shouldn't we
be
able to understand what they're thinking?
Well, we're connected in this sense. Here's the way to connect, okay? If I'm accomplishing something that I know is good, beneficial to me and to others, and you feel the same way, we have no reason to want to fight or argue. Does that make sense?
Say it again.
If I'm working toward bettering my life and bettering and improving the lives of others, and that's really in my heart, that's what I'm really trying to do, and you feel the same way, think about, wouldn't life be better if we both felt that way? Then now we could say, now we could agree on, well, let's try this, see which one works better. Now we could try, we can work together. But when I don't even know what you believe, and I don't know, you don't know what I believe, and I'm trying to do who knows what, and you're trying to do something different, all we're going to do is argue and fight. Why do you think we have all these wars?
Yeah.
That's why we have all these wars and arguments and divorce and all those other things, is because this mind is too complex. The only way we can be at, well, come on, let's just put it this way. Love is the secret. Love, what was it, Paul McCartney? Love is all you need, or John Lennon?
One of them.
I mean, we're basically, that's
John
true.
Lennon.
John Lennon said it. Love is all you need. But our problem with love, I can tell you what our problem with love is, that we have this idea that we have to love this little group around me, this little small group around me, but we can't take it any further.
Mm-hmm.
But other than this little small group, my wife, my kids, my father, my mother, my brother, sister, we have to, that's the only people we can love. We can't expand on that. That's our problem.
Mm.
So.
Well, why don't you wrap us up on daily choices real fast?
Well, daily choices, well, you are absolutely free to pick and choose your future. You can pick and choose your health by you can pick and choose what you're going to put into your body every single day of your life, and you know what you need to put in there. Now, pick and choose your future. Make the time, even if it's an hour early. Make your future now. Begin working on something. The mind will never refuse you. The body will never refuse you. You are free to pick and choose. Make your choices now. So, and there's one thing, though, that is very important to me. I want to remind you that if you know anyone who is struggling, having problems with a fast heartbeat, slow heartbeat, irregular heartbeat, experiencing fainting, dizziness, anything, I highly recommend the brilliant, and I mean this, really brilliant, Dr. Truong Duong. His number is 877-773-8664. 877-773-8664. And you're listening to David Paul Band. Go to davidpaulmusic.com. Check out the calendar for a fantastic night of entertainment. And we might see you there one of these nights. So have a great week. And
Happy Thanksgiving.
And happy Thanksgiving. And we will see you next week. Goodbye.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
Your NBC Sports Radio update starts now.
Low-scoring Sunday, I'm Jeff Nathanson. Checking the NFL.